Transportation and Infrastructure Committee member, Border Security Caucus co-chairman, and Texas Congressman Brian Babin. Congressman, it's good to have you this morning. Thanks very much for joining us. It really is a head-scratcher when you consider all of the money being thrown at this economy. President Biden would like an approval and a consensus on sending another $4 trillion into this economy behind this so-called infrastructure plan and families plan. And yet there's no new money in terms of the energy infrastructure, no new money in terms of the defense budget. That's not going to see an increase. And when you actually look at inflation, you would expect it's actually a decrease in defense spending. So what are we spending money on and putting ourselves in all this debt if we're not allocating the money toward the true needs?
$2.3 trillion, and a very small portion of it, Maria, is for true infrastructure. I've served on the Transportation and Infrastructure Committee now going into my 7th year. And I can tell you that I've never seen an infrastructure package, that had child and elder care and electric vehicles and Green New Deal schemes and these types of things. I think that Mitch McConnell has it right. An infrastructure package shouldn't be more than $600 to $800 billion. The very first year that I served in Congress and was on the Infrastructure Committee, we passed a 2015 $300 billion infrastructure package, which worked just fine, thank you. We didn't have it bloated and full of this type of stuff. This is Joe Biden trying to please his radical wing, the environmental folks that want to see us under the Green New Deal and destroy fossil fuels and hurt Texas and Louisiana and Oklahoma and Pennsylvania and many of these other states that produce fossil fuels. And this is what the man, it's the tail wagging the dog in the Democratic Party. That's what it is. And it's costing us jobs. I think this poor jobs report, Maria, comes from, asking for too much spending, and the economy is just not going to hold up under this.
Well, obviously, they're trying to push through as much as possible in their first year, having the majority ahead of the next election in 2022. Do you expect all of these plans to go through reconciliation, whereas it doesn't matter if the Republicans don't agree?
I fully expect that to happen. I think they're talking out of both sides of their mouth. Biden will talk about unity, and we just don't see unity. We've seen all this expenditures of bailouts and stimulus packages, COVID relief, et cetera. And it's been all the Democratic Party. The Republicans have not supported that, had no input into it whatsoever. And now I understand that the president is wanting to meet with the leadership of the House and the Senate across the aisle. I'm hoping, but I'm not optimistic. But I'm hoping it's successful and that we will have a reasonable package, something like I just mentioned, $300 billion to $600 billion. This country certainly needs infrastructure. It needs an overhaul very badly so that we can compete globally. But we're not seeing that. We're seeing a partisanship from the Democratic Party 100%. I hope it changes, but I'm not holding my breath. Let's put it like that, Maria.
Well, obviously, I mean, if you look at executive orders as well as getting things through reconciliation, that is not unity. You're right. It's one-party rule. It's governing just by reconciliation and executive orders. It seems to me every policy is going against what the American people want. Look at the crisis at the border right now. We have this new video. It's dramatic video. It shows migrants crossing the Rio Grande with the Border Patrol rescuing even more abandoned children. During my trip to the border, I spoke with Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton about where the migrants are going and even the cost of this crisis that no one discusses. Here's Paxton. Watch this. facility.
I think what's most important to understand is that a lot of these are kids, and we don't know where they're going, where they're being sent. These are kids that their lives are on the line, and I don't know if they're going with family or friends or who knows where they're going. There's no information being transmitted. But also just the fact that, citizens are having to pay for this. This is a very expensive process. I think you and I calculated almost $400 million a year just for this one facility, and that doesn't count the other facilities in Texas or around the country. We're talking billions of dollars, and who knows when that's going to end.
So it's billions of dollars to house people, and we know that the administration is trying to spin this now, Congressman, by building more tents so that they don't look crowded, not doing anything to stop the actual underlying issue, which is 2,000 people coming across the river every day.
Well, the spending is incredible. It's staggering. The numbers of immigrants coming across, staggering, the highest in history. And it's a shell game. We keep hearing that things are under control. We're spending $60 billion a week on HHS alone to house these UACs and these illegals. And even my Democrat counterpart in South Texas, Henry Cuellar, he said this is a shell game. They move them out of the CBP facilities where they're overpacked, send them over to HHS and say things are under control.
Yeah.
It's a sleight of hand.